other thing I wanted to say is she's got, well, we all know what 4-year-old mouths are like. They're not easy to work with. However, because we've had her from the beginning, her mouth is actually quite nice. Even though I say so myself, it is a nice mouth, and it's not a hard mouth, and she's very responsive to the hand. So I really think the best thing when she goes back to her owner is to have a little rubber mouthed, something, maybe a happy mouth, although not all horses like them. So it's a matter of experimenting. At the moment she's in this egg butt with a little like a lozenge link in the middle. It's not really a French link, it's a French link type thing. It's almost like a little lozenge, and she goes quite sweetly in it. I don't know what she'd think of a rubber snaffle if it was straight, and of course if it just had the normal join, it'd probably be a little bit of a nutcracker action. But anyway, I'll be speaking to Alison about that in due course. But yeah, she probably needs something super soft, so that, you know, there can be she won't then develop problems through the mouth later on. Yeah, if the hand is too solid, or not sensitive enough to what the horse is saying through its mouth. So yeah, little Nini she's getting braver by the day. She really is. So we just wanted to be a bit more established in these quieter areas before we take her further afield. Normally we go straight down here. So today we're going to ring the changes and bring her off to the left. Nini. Here she is, Nini taking on the world. Lots of praise and encouragement. Good girl. Always these sessions with any horse, but particularly babies, the more you can be gentle, quiet and non-worrying, and the better it is for the horse. There's a car coming behind. Now, isn't she a good girl? Isn't she a good girl? Now, it seems such a small thing to have a car pass from behind, but actually in her case it's a really big thing, and very, very positive. So we try to make every session quiet and enjoyable, so that the horse is motivated to try for the rider even when they're frightened. So it's very much training, if you like to call it that, or educating, or building trust through being quiet and not asking too much of the horse, not putting too much pressure on the horse. In fact, I think it was Ray Hunt has got a fantastic quote that I've saved, and it could very well apply to Nini, and if I don't remember it off by heart, it's quite long, I would mention it right now because it's so applicable to Nini as well as all horses. Good girl. And we'll have a little trot up here, Nini. Trot, trot. Good girl. Past the park car. can. Yes, you can. So, oh, I don't know. It had its boot up. Right, go on, one more little trot. One more little trot. One more little trot. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Trying to encourage her bottom over to the left because her head and neck is to the left but her bottom is firmly out to the right, which is something that they all tend to do. Well, we're not seeing an awful lot of traffic today. It's a very quiet morning in the village. Come on. What I'm going to try and do is just walk on the pavement here, just a little bit of something different. Come on. Good girl. Come on then. Yes. Come on. She says, oh no, I couldn't possibly do that. There. Come on. There. Yes you can. Yes you can. We'll just consider it for a moment. Right, come on in. And there you've got a perfect example of a horse, the benefit of thinking time for the horse to work something out. I'll just go around once more. Rather than not give them time to think it out. Of course it does depend on the horse, and I don't always give them thinking time when they're older and more established with a few issues, because that isn't the way to give them confidence. But when you've got quite shy little ones as young and innocent as her, giving them thinking time is such a positive thing, and I think sometimes we forget and we assume that they should be doing it, that they should know what we want and that they should go ahead and do it, and we apply the pressure, and then sometimes, you know, it's just too much for them. So I'm a great believer, and I keep mentioning it where I can, I'm a great believer in giving the horse the opportunity to think about it, process the information, and then you'd be surprised how willing they are to do it. And as I say, it does depend on the horse, because sometimes with those that, shall we say, the thinking time hasn't been a positive experience for them, what can happen is, if they have time to think about it, they decide that they don't like it and don't want to know. And then you've got another problem on your hands, one of extreme evasion, which wouldn't have been the first time they've done it. So we work with a lot of horses with extreme evasion, not our own, but, you know, when they come to us. And perhaps if they'd had a gentler start in this kind of a way, and not being pressured into doing things beyond their level of understanding, they may not have had to resort to doing what they do to get out of doing something we want them to do. Good girl. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. So praise, thinking time, consistency, patience, and having acceptance that, you know, they all learn at their own rate. Good girl. Very good. Now that That is amazing. That is simply amazing that you went past that car with its engine running. So close. Very good.